And coming to you live and direct from London, England, and I'm bringing you the weekly astrology. This show is called Weekly Astrology with Yasmin, and that's exactly what you're going to get. If you want to know what's going on in the stars this week, this is the place for you for the coming hour. For the first half hour, I'm going to be talking about the astrology of the week ahead. I'm going to be talking about Harvey Weinstein, and how that all ties in with the move of Jupiter into Scorpio. I'll be looking at the new moon in Libra and telling you why this week is so important for love and relationships, whether you're single or attached. And I'll be giving you a link where you can download a free new moon wishing guide. So yes, my name's Yasmin. I'm a moonologer, I'm an astrologer, and I'm a Hay House author. And I'm very glad you're here with me today. If you want to follow on Facebook, I'm on facebook.com/ with my name, Yasmin Boland. So let's look at the week ahead astrology. Basically, in a nutshell, if you want to change one of your most important relationships, could be a love relationship, it could be with your partner, your ex, your child, your boss, anything that's a really important relationship. This is a week to really live intentionally, to really kind of know what you want, because that is half the battle. Get very clear about what your intentions are for that relationship for a start. Once you know what you want, you can actually start to work out practical steps regarding how to achieve your goal. Now, that might sound a little bit simplistic, but it really is how things work right now with the sex and determination planet Mars moving into the partnership-oriented sign of Libra, followed by the new moon in Libra taking place there this week. Relationships are going to arise, since Libra is all about how we relate to other people. So just say if you've got a relationship and things have been a little bit troubled lately, and even though you've had all these dramas, you really want things to work out. So in other words, you're committed to the relationship. Well, this is really a time to work on that relationship. So for a start, get clear about what you want. Okay, that's probably number one. And just in terms of the law of attraction, because astrology and the law of attraction work really, really well together. In terms of that, you need to sort of, by getting clarity about what you want, you start to activate the dream, okay? Yep. If you know any Librans, you'll know they are all about relationships, and all this Libra energy that's coming up now is bringing relationships to the fore. It's also, the Libra energy is also about finding a balance between what you want versus what somebody else wants, okay? Libra wants harmony, and it wants fairness, and it wants things to be equal. So that's going to be really, really important this week as the Libra energy grows. If you're having an upset with anyone this week, make like a Libran if you don't happen to be one, and just be really nice and be kind and smile and aim for a harmonious outcome that's going to make everyone happy and that's going to be really, really fair. Okay, that's kind of what you need to do to work with the Libra energies this week. And you might think, oh well, I don't want to be nice. Well, why don't you want to be nice? It's good to be nice. You might think, oh, you know, I'm not nice. Like, you know what they say? They say, act like the person you want to be. I like that. Have you heard that? Act like the person you want to be and you'll become it. So if you're not nice, but you kind of wish you were nice, because life would be a lot easier if you were nicer, make like a Libran. Most Librans are quite nice. Are there any Librans out there? I can see there are a few people on Facebook Live. Are any of you Librans? You're all very, very nice. Okay, so that's kind of like the nice, easy side of what's going on this week, and I will get to the new moon quite soon and talk about how to use it. And also I'm going to do a creative visualization with you here on the show. Hopefully Magical Mike will have some music ready for us, but we're going to do a visualization a bit later. But first I want to talk about a slightly darker side of things, but it's something we're going to have to deal with. So I'm not sure I mentioned it last week, but I think I might have done. I write various columns for various newspapers and magazines around the world, astrology columns, and not that long ago I was asked by one of the publications, which will remain nameless, to take out all this stuff I had about Jupiter into Scorpio, because I said it was going to be about the dark side of life and about well, sex trafficking and life after death and things that people don't really want to talk about. And as I think I mentioned last week, I was asked to take it out, and I was really, really shocked, and I am still really shocked, because I don't think that's ever happened to me in, I don't know, 20 years of writing astrology for mainstream publications. I don't think anyone's ever said to me, oh no, take that out, that's too dark. The only time it did happen to me once in along a similar vein was someone said to me, can you take that out, it's too chirpy. And that's actually when the recession was hitting England. And one of my English editors felt that my upbeat tone wasn't really in line with the grimness of the mood of the nation. So anyway, I kind of really noticed that this happened, and I didn't really mind. I don't think my ego was that bruised. I was a bit like, oh, really? Why don't you want, you know, the truth? Why don't you want the dark side as well as all the light and bright stuff? And that has brought up a lot of issues for me, not issues, problems, but raised a lot of questions. So, number one, what about the dark side? You know, I love the law of attraction. I work with the law of attraction. I use astrology and the law of attraction every single day in my life. I mean, I could practically say I use it twice a day or 3 times a day in my life. I know where the moon is, I know what the planets are doing, and I know what that means for me personally, and what I want to manifest. So, you know, I'm all about the law of attraction, and everything we have been taught is feel the best thing you can feel, think the best thought you can think. And, you know, one of my favorite lines, focus on what you do want, not on what you don't want. So you think about what you do want, you don't think about what you don't want. Okay, so there's all that. Now, here comes Jupiter, the planet of optimism and chirpiness, into the sign of Scorpio. Okay, Scorpio is the dark side of the chart, the dark side of the zodiac. And before any non-Scorpio people feel sanctimonious, we all have Scorpio in our chart somewhere. That's just the way astrology works. We all have all 12 signs in our astrology chart, and it will rule one part of your life or another. And I don't mind telling you, in my life, for example, it rules my relationship, so I can actually be quite jealous. You may or may not be surprised to hear. My husband certainly won't be surprised to hear that. You know, Scorpio is the part of us that deals with the subjects we don't want to talk about. Okay, so Jupiter moves into Scorpio. I write this thing in this magazine in Australia saying, you know, this is what's going to happen, lots and lots of, you know, the bright side, and then also the dark side is going to be revealed, and we're going to have to deal with the dark things that no one wants to talk about. That's the bit that gets taken out. And then lo and behold, here comes Harvey Weinstein, the big bad guy of the world at the moment, and so he should be. You know, his dark underbelly exposed. And Jupiter is the planet of publicity, and Scorpio is the sign of, as I've said about 10 times now, the dark side, the mysterious side, the taboo side, the things we don't want to talk about. And suddenly with Jupiter, like the big planet, you know, ambles into the room saying, yeah, I'm here, and I'm here to give publicity to all Scorpio things. And who's the first thing that comes up? Harvey Weinstein. Now, I'm not sure if you have to be an astrologer to see the connection here. I hope that you don't have to be. Scorpio is about the things we don't want to talk about, okay? And literally we have Harvey Weinstein, I don't know how to say his name, literally his shadow side, Scorpio, is getting loads of publicity, Jupiter. His dark side, Scorpio, is being shown for the entire world to see, Jupiter. His blackness, Scorpio, has blown up big time, Jupiter. And now other people are also, not only do we have about 30 or 40 other women who've come forward and started to say, yes, they were assaulted as well. Now we've got, well, for one thing, we've got a big name Academy Award winning actor I'm not allowed to name, but you can find it out in 2 seconds on the internet, who someone else on Twitter has also said, you know, I liked this particular actor until he assaulted a loved one. And so now it's like the cat's out of the bag there. You know, obviously we don't have any proof, that's why no one's allowed to say the name of the guy, but you know, we may find now we're going to get people coming out of the shadows saying, yes, you know, this happened to him, and that star assaulted that person, and you know, that star slept with that person in order to get that role, and so on. And then more than that, we've even now got you know, all, if you're on Facebook, we've got the whole hashtag Me Too. I don't know if you've seen that. Me Too being a thing where women who've had been sexually assaulted in their lives saying, yep, happened to me too. And I don't know about you, but my Facebook feed at one point was just filled with people saying me too, me too. And that is Jupiter in Scorpio. Like, I mean, talk about starting with a bang and really, really lighting up the world. Dark sides, Jungian shadows, depth psychology, taboos, occult matters, secrets, paranoias, fears, everything's going to be amplified and on show as long as Jupiter is in Scorpio. And that's actually going to last for about a year from now. Society will have to explore certain taboo topics, including harassment and, of course, the other elephant in the room of the Harvey Weinstein thing, complicity, where people, you know, do what they have to do to get ahead. And who's going to judge them? Certainly not me. Other issues we can expect, I think I mentioned this last week, death itself, life after death, sex workers' rights, euthanasia, sex trafficking, dark underbellies, anything we don't want to talk about. That is what is going to come up as as Jupiter goes through Scorpio. So it's kind of interesting from an astrological point of view, and I just want to mention that. And I also want to say on the Facebook live feed that I have there, I can see lots of people saying I'm Scorpio as well. And I really just want to make this clear. We all have Scorpio in our charts. So the easiest way I can explain it is that there are 12 signs and they all go in the same order. Like if you read a newspaper or a magazine or on the internet and you see the signs in a row, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. Okay, they all go in that order. Now, depending on your rising sign, that's the first sign in your chart, more or less, and all the other signs follow all the way round. So you get all 12 signs in your chart, and each of them rules a different part of your life. Like I said, it rules my love life. It might be your career zone. It might rule your mind zone. It might rule the way you are with money. Whatever it is, that's how you are. So in my case, because as I said, I have it on my 7th house, which is my love zone. And I saw my husband joining this feed before. Hello, darling. You missed my comments before about my Scorpionic love side. So I love, like a Scorpio, someone who's got Scorpio on the 3rd house, for example, they would think like a Scorpio, or someone who has Scorpio on their 10th house, then, you know, their career will be Scorpionic somehow. So we all have Scorpio in our charts. So no getting sanctimonious or righteous, and please, any Scorpios out there, do not take offense, because we all have this energy somewhere. So I just wanted to talk about that because I just found it really, really fascinating, the way Jupiter into Scorpio happened, and then all of a sudden we've got this whole thing completely and utterly exploding. Okay, all right, so moving on to a much happier topic that will please the people who just like things. Actually, I have to say two more things about this Jupiter and Scorpio and the darkness. 2 things. One is, I think it's really interesting, and I'm trying to get Sarah Prout on the show in the next week or two. Don't know if you know Sarah. She was on the show once before, and she teaches about the law of attraction. She is based in Las Vegas, and she's amazing. And I really, really want to get her take on this, because she was talking about the dark side, and she is a Scorpio, actually. And I really want to work on this idea of how does the law of attraction work with the dark side. I don't know. I'm an astrologer who loves the law of attraction. She's a law of attraction specialist, so I would love to get her on and find out what she thinks, because I know that they must be able to work together, but I'm not really sure about how it is. I know we're supposed to, we love our dark side, we embrace our dark side. I'm not really sure. So I want to find out more. And I just want to mention one other thing, because I'm on Hay House Radio, and I know that Mr. Nick Ortner, the tapping guy, you know, the tapping, tapping is getting more and more and more and more popular, and I have friends who swear by it. I've got one friend who reckons it got her out of a complete depression. I've got another friend who actually teaches it, who lives in Paris. Hello, Anna Maria. And you know, in that you acknowledge what's wrong. even though you start the sentence, even though such and such a bad thing has happened, I still love myself and I still love my life, things like that. So again, that's all kind of Jupiter in Scorpio. It's going to be about the dark side. So if you're interested in this, stay tuned, because I'm going to talk about it a bit more over the coming few weeks. Okay, ping. Now let's move on. Let's talk about the new moon, because the new moon is coming this week, and you know what? It's going to bring a real break. Yay, I've got lots of love hearts on my Facebook Live. Everyone's like, yeah, stop talking about the dark side. Let's have some good stuff. I don't blame you. I feel the same way. Okay, so what is the new moon for? Well, we get 12 to 13 new moons a year. And if you know anything about witches, you'll know that witches have been using new moons for millennia to cast spells. Okay, astrologically it marks the start of the new lunar cycle. It's a time where we can set our intentions for the month ahead, and it's really a really important time if you like to use the law of attraction, which I love to use the law of attraction. Okay, so the Libra new moon, let me give you the times and dates around the world. It takes place on October the 19th. So in New York, it takes place on October the 19th at 3:12 p.m. So hopefully wherever you are in the States listening, you can work it out. So New York time, 3:12 p.m. on October the 19th. That's 2 days from now, so that must be Thursday. In London, it takes place on Thursday, and the time will be 8:12 p.m. 8:12 p.m. on Thursday. In Sydney, Australia, I'm just checking it's Thursday, but I know, yes, it's Thursday. In Sydney, Australia, the new moon will take place actually on October 20 because of the time difference. So it's exactly the same time, you know, in the sky, but it's a slightly different time because of the time zone. So it's October the 20th at 6:12 a.m. okay, on Friday morning. So now, what should you do with the times now that you know? Oh, and by the way, if you're not in New York, London or Sydney and you would like to know the time where you are, please go to my website, moonology.com, like astrology, but moonology.com. And you will see where it says moon, click on moon, go to moon times, and you will get the time. You'll get a link there which will show you all around the world what time the new moon will be taking place. And also I prepared it before the show started for once. You'll also find a link to the free new moon wishing guide right up the very top of the page when you first get there. So what to do with the new moon? Well, really, the thing to do is to make some wishes, okay? To make up to 10 wishes. And because of the time that the new moon's taking place this month, actually, we can all do it pretty much wherever we are in the world. We can do it at a relatively sociable hour, because the idea is to do it not long after you wake up. So for example, in Sydney, where the new moon's taking place on Friday morning at 6:12 a.m, if you're in Sydney or Melbourne or anywhere along the eastern seaboard of Australia, do it when you wake up, as long as it's after 6:12 in the morning. So if you wake up at 6:15 or whatever, do it then. Make your 10 wishes. Similarly, in New York, it's at 3:12 p.m. on the Thursday, so do it when you get home that night, Thursday night. London, it's at 8:12 p.m. Do it after dinner, kind of thing. So how to, well, if you get the free wishing guide, which as I said is on the front page of my site, moonology.com, you'll see a little link to download the guide that will tell you what to do. But basically all you need to do is get a pen and a paper, pen and piece of paper. I would also set the scene. I will try and do a Facebook Live, a live ceremony, so we all do it together. But essentially the idea is put on some nice music, maybe light a candle, get yourself in the mood. Doing anything like that lifts your vibration, okay? So just raise your vibration. When you're manifesting, you want to raise your vibration. And then just write down your top 10 wishes, and then write down what you can do to make those wishes come true. And then if you're a really, really good student, pick the one that's the most important to you and turn that into an affirmation. Okay, so say if you can't stand your job and you've decided you want a new job, and your biggest wish is to find a new job, it would be an affirmation. about, you know, oh, I love my new job, I love my new job, I love my new job, something like that. And the idea is to feel it as you actually say it, not to be negative as you say it, because then you're just, you know, reiterating the negative. So what I wanted to do, I'm going to take calls in the second half of the show. So if you would like to call me up, there's still a few lines empty actually for once. So now's a good time to get on the line and give me a call. I would love to speak to you about where the new moon's taking place for you, if you would like to hear about it. But in the meantime, I thought what I will do is a visualization. And I'm going to do a visualization about relationships because it's the new moon in Libra, and Libra is the sign of relationships. So I'm going to ask Maestro Mike if we may please have some music. Okay, I'm going to ask you to close your eyes and just breathe. Feels so good, doesn't it, when you stop for a second and just breathe? Okay. Just be aware of the rise and fall of your breath. And now I'm going to ask you to bring to mind in your imagination someone you want a better relationship with. And it can be two people. If they're kind of part of the same situation, or three people, that's fine. And just visualize those people. Just breathe and think good thoughts about those people that you want a good relationship with. And now take your imagination to an actual situation where you could see this person or these people, where you're actually interacting with them. So where are you? What do you see around you? Just see the picture. And what would represent a good relationship with this person or these people? See it in your mind's eye and feel it in your body. The most important thing is to feel the feeling of the wish fulfilled. And just breathe in that great feeling of happiness that you feel at being with this person under such pleasant circumstances. And just say to yourself or out loud, "Thank you, universe." Okay, and now just put your hands over your heart and rub them together. Put them on your face. Open your eyes. Come back into your body. And if you're listening live and you just did that exercise, fantastic. We are just before the new moon, so it's a really good time to plant seeds. But also just after the moon is also really, really important to do things like that as well. So you can come back to heyhouseradio.com and you can listen to the replay because it will be just as powerful, if not more powerful, to do that exercise after the new moon as it is to do it before the new moon. Okay, I think that's it for the talking part of this show. Just a reminder of you can get your free wishing guide, free new moon wishing guide. Let me give you a link as well for those of you who would rather just work off a link. moonmessages.com/free wishing guide. moonmessages.com/free wishing guide. Lots of love hearts. Thanks, guys. And I should also give a little plug to my book, Moonology, which has now been at #1 pretty much for 12 months in the astrology bestseller section of Amazon.com and Amazon.co.uk. It briefly went down to #3 the other day, and I was like, oh no, look at that, it's down to #3, but it was back at #2 last time I checked, and maybe it's back to #1 now, I don't know. My belief is this is the time for us all to learn to work with the planets and the moon, and that's why it's doing so well. Not to mention because Hay House was so great at helping me work out how to shape the book. Okay, so I am going to go to the phones now. So if you're watching on Facebook Live, now's the time if you want to listen to the questions and answers, or you want to call in. I'm going to do half an hour of chit chat with some listeners. hayhouseradio.com is the place to go, hayhouseradio.com. So I'm just going to